Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in and checking out today's video. The video today will show drone shots of our group of friends that went and did some four-wheeling out in the Owens Valley off of Highway 395 in California. I'm going to be talking today about some of the history of the places you'll be seeing. Most of this information is easily found online, but this is some of the highlights of the things I thought were interesting. We began our trip going to Manzanar Internment camp for Japanese Americans during World War II. The second video is some of the snow wheeling we did trying to cross the Inyo Mountains into Death Valley, and the third video shows some footage from Alabama Hills and a spot called Top of the World. Enjoy the video, and thanks again for coming along with us on this adventure. Manzanar is a site of one of 10 American concentration camps, where more than 120,000 Japanese Americans were incarcerated during World War II from March 1942 to November of 1945. It is located at the foot of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California's Owens Valley, between the towns of Lone Pine to the south and Independence to the north, approximately 230 miles north of Los Angeles. Manzanar was first inhabited by indigenous Americans nearly 10,000 years ago. When European American settlers first arrived in the Owens Valley in the mid-19th century, they found a large number of Paiute villages in the Manzanar area. John Shepherd, one of the first of the new settlers, homesteaded 160 acres of land 3 miles north of Georges Creek in 1864. With the help of Owens Valley Paiute field workers and laborers, he expanded his ranch to nearly 2,000 acres in 1905. George Chaffee, an agricultural developer from Southern California, purchased Shepherd's ranch and subdivided it, along with other adjacent ranches. Around that time, one of the largest earthquakes in California history struck the Owens Valley. The 1872 Owens Valley earthquake, also known as the Lone Pine earthquake, struck on March 26th at 2:30 local time in the Owens Valley, with the epicenter near the town of Lone Pine. Its magnitude has been estimated at a 7.4 to 7.9. The earthquake occurred on Tuesday morning and leveled almost all the buildings in Lone Pine and nearby settlements. Of the estimated 250 to 300 inhabitants of Lone Pine, 27 are known to have perished, and 52 of the 59 houses were destroyed. The quake was felt strongly as far away as Sacramento, where citizens were startled out of their bed and ran into the streets. The earthquake stopped clocks and awakened people in San Diego to the south, Red Bluff to the north, and Elko, Nevada to the east. The shock was felt over most of California and much of Nevada. Thousands of aftershocks occurred, and some of them being severe. George Chaffee founded the town of Manzanar in 1910. As early as 1905, the city of Los Angeles began acquiring water rights to the Owens Valley. And in 1913, it completed construction of its 233-mile Los Angeles Aqueduct. In dry years, Los Angeles pumped groundwater and drained all surface water, diverting all of it into its aqueduct and leaving Owens Valley ranchers without water. After December 7, 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States government swiftly began to move to solve its quote-unquote Japanese problem on the west coast of the United States. And on February 19, 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, which authorized the Secretary of War to designate military commanders to prescribe military areas and to exclude any and all persons from such areas. The order also authorized the construction of what were later called relocation centers by the War Relocation Authority to house those who were to be excluded. Manzanar was the first of 10 concentration camps to be established, and began accepting detainees in March 1942. The weather at Manzanar caused suffering for the inmates, few of whom were accustomed to the extremes of the area's climate. The temporary buildings were inadequate to shield the people from the weather, and the Owens Valley lies at an elevation of about 4,000 feet. Summers on the desert floor of the Owens Valley are generally hot, with temperatures often exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And winters bring occasional snowfall and daytime temperatures that often drop into the 40-degree range. And at nighttime, temperatures are generally 30 to 40 degrees lower than the daytime highs, and high winds are common day or night. The WRA closed Manzanar when the final internee left at 11 a.m. on November 21st, 1945. It was the sixth camp to be closed. Although Japanese Americans had been brought to the Owens Valley by the United States government, they had to leave the camp and travel to their next destinations on their own. The WRA gave each person $25, which is equivalent to $376 today, one-way train or bus fare, and meals to those who had less than $600, which would be equivalent to $9,000 today. Between 135 and 146 Japanese Americans died at Manzanar. 15 were buried there, but only 5 graves remain, as most of them were reburied elsewhere by their families. One thing that struck me driving through Manzanar is the juxtaposition of emotions that the internees must have felt, being that they were relocated from their homes forcibly and being forced to be in this internment camp. Being able to wake up and go outside and see the Sierras to their side that you can see now, and the Inyo Mountains on the other side, must have been truly beautiful. But knowing that they were there not by choice but by force must have been challenging and probably heartbreaking to most of the residents there in Manzanar. I'm now gonna go ahead and put some music on and let you guys enjoy some of the views that you can see being here, and we will continue on the next leg of the journey. Thank you.